Bitcoin scared investors yesterday after we decreased from $70,000 sharply to 65K in just a matter of hours. Now, apart from Bitcoin, altcoins have been getting butchered, falling anywhere between 10 to 25%. But apart from the crypto markets, we've also been seeing a significant decrease in the stock market. In fact, the S&P 500 has seen the largest amount of losses since October of 2023. And apart from the stock market, we're seeing assets like gold go and hit new all-time highs, and the value of the dollar increasing to local tops. These are all correlated with each other. There's one specific news event that is causing this push downwards on Bitcoin, and it could destroy all of our plans to reach $90,000. This would be a black swan event, and it would be similar to what we saw a couple of years ago. So stay tuned until the end, and I will try my best to explain where Bitcoin can go if this 90K Bitcoin is invalidated, and how can we hedge ourselves against this potential risk. So in terms of a technical standpoint, Bitcoin was forming a double top. And in terms of a target for this double top, we mentioned 66.7K would be a good level for Bitcoin to correct to. In the immediate short term, Bitcoin tried to see a push backwards, but because it is the weekend and there is no volume during the weekend, Bitcoin was not able to sustain this push, and now we're trading at this level once more. And not only that, Bitcoin was forming a double top, but we were forming this double top at the 71.3K critical resistance line. If we look into the prior history of Bitcoin, whenever we retested 71.3 and we were not able to break towards the upside, we collapsed by initially, in the past all-time high, 14.5%. Then Bitcoin collapsed by 9.5%, and now we're seeing a decrease of up to 8.5%. So this resistance line is so important for Bitcoin. Until we flip it in a bullish manner, it's not going to be looking too great for the markets. Now, if we go into the bullish pennant, the support line of this bullish pennant is trying to hold up, but it is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. These EMA ribbons are about to cross bearish if today's candle closes in the red. And if that happens, that's the point where I'm going to be flipping bearish on Bitcoin. The reason why the stock market is falling, the reason why the Dixie is increasing, is because geopolitical tensions across the world are becoming overheated. In a time of geopolitical uncertainty, what we see is risk-on assets such as Bitcoin and the stock market, they tend to experience a downfall. And investors take their money out of these assets and they put it into the dollar, they put it into gold, and sometimes they put it into oil, right? And that causes different assets that we're into, such as Bitcoin, to fall down in price because Bitcoin is inversely correlated with the value of the Dixie, because we trade Bitcoin with denominated under US dollars. So if Dixie goes up, then the price of Bitcoin tends to fall downwards. That is the issue we're seeing. And now if these EMA ribbons start to cross bearish and Bitcoin loses the support of this bullish pennant in the short term with a confirmation on the daily candle, then we could be looking at a $59,000 Bitcoin. Now it's super, super unfortunate that this is happening, and I was staying up all night praying for peace around the world because right after we posted the video, the tensions grew significantly faster. And the next 48 hours are so important that if we see these tensions rise, then assets all around the world, they will lose a lot of value. The interesting thing is gold hit new all-time highs. In a time like this, gold would be pushing higher and higher and higher, but we closed off the candle in a bearish manner. This is giving me the indication that the upcoming days are going to be so volatile for different assets that it's going to be pretty unpredictable. So in terms of hedging myself against potential significant downside risk, I put my stop losses for all of my longs at break even. This is what I'm doing. The point where I will sell my Bitcoin holdings is if this 3 and 7 period moving averages cross into each other by the close of today's candle, or tomorrow's candle actually, because this is the weekly time frame. So if we see the 3 and 7 period moving averages cross, this is a huge indication for a local top, or in case of 2021, an all-time high for Bitcoin. If we see the 3 and 7 period moving averages cross, which would happen if Bitcoin closes the candle at approximately 65K, that's the time where I will start taking profits on my long positions. Does this mean that a 92K Bitcoin will no longer be possible? No, not at all. I think Bitcoin will inevitably reach 92K, but this black swan event would just delay this from happening at an earlier stage. I mean, keep in mind, if we look at Bitcoin and the crypto assets as a whole, I think now is more bullish than ever before. We're seeing potentially the Hong Kong spot ETFs getting approved on Monday. We have the US spot ETFs, which are performing phenomenally. And there's so much adoption across the world. Retail is coming back in, etc. So I think the current time for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is the best possible. But this black swan event is similar to another war that we experienced a couple of years back. And it's going to be, we can't really put a pinpoint, a certain prediction on how Bitcoin will react because previously it reacted in a well way. But if we look at COVID, which was another external factor, then we had a huge fire sale. So I think the best thing to do right now, in my personal approach, is to reduce risk as much as possible. Of course, nothing in this video is financial advice, but if I reduce my risk, then I believe in Bitcoin in the long term. And maybe if I take some profits on my derivatives long holdings, I can funnel that back into DCAing in Bitcoin just in case if Bitcoin reaches 59K. So I think in terms of a correction, 59K would be a beautiful level to reach. And after 59K, then we can reevaluate on how Bitcoin is and how other assets across the world are performing. Then we can give a more based indication. But because the Bitcoin dominance is currently skyrocketing above 56%, we're seeing altcoins get butchered by levels of over 10 to 25%. So I'm taking this opportunity to accumulate as many altcoins as possible, because if we see geopolitical tensions increase in intensity, then altcoins would decrease more over time. So over these next few days, I'm reducing my risk on Bitcoin. I'm buying as many alts as possible. And I'm just praying, to be honest with you. So this is what I'm doing. And hopefully, things won't get too out of control. And we can reside in peace and the price of Bitcoin and altcoins can recover. But there's always that chance that things do not go well. And in that case, altcoins and Bitcoin would likely crash further down. Now, this is not as significant as the things that I mentioned right now, but it is tax season in crypto, particularly in the US. Not in crypto, but across all sectors. So because it is tax season this weekend and going into Monday, people will likely be having to sell some of their holdings in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to pay off their taxes. So that could be another reason why going into this weekend, Bitcoin could be crashing further down. But I hope this video was helpful. If you did enjoy it, make sure to smash up the like button. But yeah, guys, I'm just praying that everything will be fine. And I'll see you guys very shortly on the next video. So take care and bye-bye.